And welcome to the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. Yo, it's the CIF Southern Section semifinals, and we will break it down like no other right here on the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified from Teen Vision TV 16. We've got a bunch of teams still in the hunt for CIF Southern Section championships, of course, on the gridiron. So we're going to break down the semifinal matchups. We'll also look ahead to a huge weekend of local college football as we check in with the Bulldogs at U of R, SBVC, the Wolverines, and the RCC Tigers. So a lot of football to get to on this show. Some live interviews as well. And we kick things off because we are going second level. We are going so deep on Division 11. We're going to break it down with the Hemet Bulldogs and the Linfield Christian Lions. And join us first on the show live right now. They just wrapped up. I'm sure it was a crisp, beautiful practice out there at Hemet High School. It's the head coach of the Bulldogs, Dennis Gregovich. Coach, how was practice? I'm sure it was great.
Always good. Always good to be a good day to be a Bulldog.
Well, Coach, here you are back in the semifinals, and you were telling me that you've never, as a coach or an assistant coach, been to a CIF championship game. Is that correct?
That's correct. This will be the fourth time making it there, either as a head coach or an assistant coach, and, you know, trying to do everything and stay as focused as we can to hopefully punch our ticket this time.
Well, before we start talking about Marina here in the semifinals, if we go back to the quarterfinals against El Rancho, you guys went for it. I'll let you talk about it, but you guys went for it on a fourth down play, and not just a first down. You guys went straight to the house. You took it for the game-winning touchdown. Relive that game-winning touchdown. Paint that picture for us against El Rancho in the quarters.
Going into the game, I love the matchups on the outside. Our taller receiver, Ethan Leonard, got hurt to play before. I looked at our other kid. I told him, Frankie Castillo, we were coming to him. I told him if they were playing off, we were going to run the hitch, and we would go at 8 yards. I told Graves I'd give him the signal whether we were going to go hitch or fade. I felt the corner was close enough, and, you know, we practiced everything all year. So threw the fade down the end zone, and Frankie made a great play on the ball, and Graves threw a wonderful ball. It was a great play, exciting.
Yeah, I saw you posted on Twitter that you had absolutely no doubt that your players would come through in that situation on that play and make it happen. I mean, you had no doubt as a head coach. You trusted your guys.
That's just the way it is. And I told him, Frankie came up to me afterwards and he said, Coach, I'm a little mad at you. And I go, mad? He goes, why? He goes, because you put me in that spot. I said, Frankie, you're a playmaker, man. I know you're going to make the play. So I know we practiced it enough times. I know we did it. And, you know, that's what I was going to go with. Win or lose, that was the call I was going to make.
Well, Coach, there's not a lot of teams, especially in our coverage area. There's not a lot of teams still practicing football right now at this time of the year. How do you kind of relay that message to your players and maybe some of your younger coaches too that, man, soak this in and enjoy it? You've never been to a championship game. Hopefully you're practicing again next week.
I think my kids actually get tired of me saying it, but that's what I tell them. I go, you know, people aren't playing. I said, you guys got to understand the opportunity you have. You've got to stay focused. It is a long season. A lot of them haven't been through it, especially the younger players, and you guys got to keep everybody mentally focused. For coaching wise, I'm pretty lucky because a lot of those coaches have been around with me, and we don't have many younger coaches, so everybody understands the importance of every game. So every game, every rep, you know, offense, defensively, and every practice.
Coach, what I like about your team is you can score a lot of points if you need to, and then I go back to that Citrus Hill game, which was like a defensive, slugfest. So I think it was 10-7. I think was the final score.
Yeah, well, that field goal, 10-7.
So, I mean, talk about your team and just being able to find different ways to win, depending maybe on the night, depending on your opponent, what you guys are doing. You just find ways to win.
Well, I told you early on, I knew we were going to struggle offensively because we replaced so many people, and we understood defensively was going to be our strength because we had so many returners. And so we just tried to early on try and keep the game close, everything we could do to possibly move the ball. But the last probably about 5 weeks, we've really been able to put up points because the kids understand the system. They understand what I'm asking of them. So, you know, we've got enough speed on the outside at receiver. We can get the ball deep, and we're starting to run the ball pretty well with the offense. So it gives us a couple ways. But we're not afraid to lean on the defense and lean on special teams, and we try to make all three aspects of the game the biggest way that you have to win.
Well, Coach, I can't help but look at Buster the Bulldog behind you up there. Where did that come from? Did you paint that? Like, what is that?
There's so much stuff around this school from all the football tradition, from everything being around. So when I was looking up there, and, you know, I see it, but I didn't even actually look until you had said. But, yeah, the kids nicknamed it Buster, so he's up there, and, you know, go Bulldogs.
Well, Coach, without giving away your secrets, what do you know about Marina? What do we know about this team as we go into the semis?
Well, just like every team that's still here, they're just well coached. Man, they do a lot of stuff right. You know, a lot of stuff right. They're solid on the offensive side and good on the defensive side. They got a lot of height, a lot of size. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. You know, in my younger days, I would have said, "Oh, we're going to try and score. We're going to do this." And I can't do it anymore. I watch film. I got to make sure I'm just going over it constantly and make sure I get every little detail. And you know, I'll still be watching film later on tonight and then tomorrow and all the way up till game time. It's just the way I try and do it now.
Well, Coach, speaking of watching film, how soon after that crazy emotional win against El Rancho in the quarterfinals were you, I don't know, parked on your couch or in your office next to Buster or wherever, watching film on Marina to be ready for this Friday night?
I'm not even going to lie to you and tell you the truth. I was absolutely smoked after that game. I actually laid on my couch until the afternoon of Saturday. I was just absolutely tired. So I had to take a little break and unwind, and then I started in the afternoon. I go in the afternoon, then my kids go to bed. I get to watch film even longer, and then went through Sunday to doing it. But I had to take a break. That was an excellent game to be a part of. One of the most fun games I've ever been a part of in my coaching career.
See, there you are breaking down all the film, and you know everyone else is all wrapped up in Disney Plus. You got Disney Plus at home? Are you getting ready to unravel that and get into those shows?
You know I got to have Disney Plus. Well, my kids want to watch it, but between the iPads and the TVs, everything else, wherever they want to watch it, they watch it. But I was trying to have the daughter leave it on football in the living room where I was using the computer.
And Coach, finally, going into the semifinal matchup against Marina, when you look at the whole body of work this season, from start to finish, I mean, what are you most proud about this Bulldogs team this season? And just, you're here, you are in the semifinals, and hopefully the season's not over yet for you guys. You can continue it, but so far, I'm sure there's a lot to be proud of so far in this season.
First and foremost, I'm proud of the kids, all the work they put in, the hard work. You know, they all the hours in the summer, the hours of weightlifting, the same thing everybody does. But the fact that they didn't quit, they stay together, they support each other. When offense was struggling, defense kept them up. Offense always roots on the defense. Proud of all the coaches for all the stuff they've done, the game plan, the hours they put in, keeping the kids entertained. And our admin's been wonderful, and all our fans. You know, our fans are the biggest thing that keeps us going. So all of them all around.
Coach, do you shave the goatee during football, or you just let it go?
I shave the sides a little bit, but I keep letting this grow. I don't like shaving. There's so much different. It takes so long to get used to it. So, but it's getting a little more gray.
A little bit, but that's all right. That just means you played a lot of close games and won a lot of close games.
That's it. Hopefully it doesn't come down to the last play again this weekend.
Well, Coach, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Best of luck in the semifinals this Friday night, and go Bulldogs.
Thank you very much. Go Dogs. Appreciate it. You guys are great.
All right. Thank you. That's head coach Dennis Gregovich from Hemet High School, one of our favorite guys. Thank you, Coach. He loves watching film. He's breaking it down. And to be practicing this time of the year is a big deal for any high school football team. So in our next segment, after the commercial break, we will hear from the other local team still alive right now in the Division 11 playoffs in the semifinals. That is Linfield Christian. Lions head coach DeChon Burns will join us. So speaking of the semifinals, we whipped up a very fancy graphic to show you all of our local teams. And I thought, we had less this year. So I went back to last year and looked at all of our local teams in the semifinals. And sure enough, I think we had a dozen last year in the semis. This year, I think we've got 10 games, I should say, 10 games that we are keeping an eye on in the semifinals. Of course, Division I, the granddaddy of them all, St. John Bosco, will make their first ever trip to Centennial High School. This game, I don't even know what else to say about this. This is the game of the year that we've all been waiting for the last 12 months. Centennial versus St. John Bosco, Division I. Now we jump to Division V. We've got Aquinas on the road at Glendora. We'll see if the Falcons can get the job done on the road. They've been so great all season long with that defense, and now the offense is scoring points. Look out. San Jacinto on the road at La Serna in Division VI. Temecula Valley, that overtime win against Carter in the quarters, and now Temecula Valley is back home in the semifinals. They will take on West Ranch. That should be a shootout. In Division 11, there's Hemet, there's Linfield Christian. If they both win, if the Bulldogs and the Lions both won, we already know the coin flips. It would be Hemet at Linfield Christian in Temecula if they both won. In Division 12, two more local teams. We're going to talk about this in a second. We've got Orange Vista at home against Adelanto and Jurupa Hills on the road at El Monte. So a potential all D12 final, local final there. Division 13, the Cinderella run of the Ramona Rams continues. They will take on Alhambra. That game is live on Riverside TV this Friday night in Division 13. And Division 14, Vista del Lago against St. Pius. And that is the #1 team in that division. So Vista del Lago will have their hands full. Hey, but they're coming off a big win. Can they do it again right here in the city of Moreno Valley? That is Division 14. But I want to spend a little bit of time with Division 12 because we talked about Division 11, and we hope that we'll have a Hemet versus Linfield Christian final in Division 11, which would be in Temecula. But in Division 12, we could also have a Jurupa Hills versus Orange Vista Division 12 championship game, which would be another all-local Inland Empire battle. This game for Orange Vista, as they come off a big win this previous week against Oak Park, the #1 team, was live on Teen Vision, TV 16, and it wasn't all about the offense in this one. No, Orange Vista's defense, they grabbed their hard helmet and they went to work in this one. 23-0 was the final score. So Orange Vista will now play Adelanto in the D13 semifinals. This is a rematch. I'm sorry, D12 semifinals, but this is a rematch of the Division 13 championship game from a year ago. So, excuse me, Orange Vista will get another crack at Adelanto, a rematch of the finals from Division 13 a year ago, now in Division 12 in the semis. And the Coyotes looked really, really good in the the quarterfinals with that shutout win against a really talented Oak Park team. So the Coyotes probably playing their best football of the season with head coach Greg Zomal leading the way. And when you're looking at Division 12, yes, they have done the coin flips in Division 12. If we had an Orange Vista versus Jurupa Hills game, that final would be at Jurupa Hills. It would be in the city of Fontana if we had that all-local final. If Orange Vista would play El Monte, then Orange Vista would be the home team there. So we'll have to see. First things first, I know you can't look too far ahead, especially if you're one of the coaches or players on these teams. But for us in the media, we could do those things. And those would be the potential CIF Southern Section Championship games. All right, let's go to our spoiled slick play of the week. And it was a real slick one. As we stay in Division 12, we're talking Jurupa Hills. Check out this play. Jurupa Hills battles back to take the lead, only to see undefeated and top-seeded Rio Hondo Prep come back the other way. Rio Hondo going to the end zone for the game-winning touchdown, and you just saw it. We're going to see it again in slow motion as Davion Gambo came up with the interception to save the win for Jurupa Hills in the end zone. Unbelievable. Gambo saves the win for Jurupa Hills. The Spartans are marching on. And again, they will take on El Monte in the Division 12 semifinals. It's our spoiled, slick play of the week. That saved the win for Jurupa Hills. What a finish there. Not only a great finish, but to beat the #1 team in Division 12. That was crazy. Undefeated Rio Hondo Prep. Unbelievable win there. So Jurupa Hills and Orange Vista still alive now in Division 12. If they both win in the semis, then we'd see an all-local Division 12 championship game, which would be great. When we come back, we're going back to Division 11. Linfield Christian head coach DeChon Burns will join us live. We'll talk more Division 11 football. We love Division 11 here on the show. We've also got our Ken's must-see game of the week, and you probably know what it is. And then also our final edition of the football rankings as we go into the semifinals, because we just really don't have a lot of teams left playing at this point in the season. We'll be back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona. Mike's Fitness Equipment. Check out the new storeroom on La Cadena. Quality fitness equipment at affordable prices. Mike's Fitness Equipment. And JoJo's Grill-A-Dog, located in the Mountain Grove Shopping Center in Redlands. Let's be frank, not all dogs are created equal. JoJo's Grill-A-Dog.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taken care of, whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. We have customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
Spoiled in Riverside. Just opened up our new location off the 91 in Arlington and Riverside. Come check us out and get spoiled for a change.
Inland Sports. Yes, we do. And I'm going to start off with a very serious tone here. Guys, we have to have the talk. The talk. Like not a dad sitting down his 13-year-old having the talk.
I know that stuff.
But I need you guys to sit down, all you KCal rockers. We need to have a talk about the Rams having a real possibility of not making the playoffs, because we saw how Monday night unfolded.
It's getting to that point, huh?
And this is how playoffs are made, right? Like
I could talk about this all day.
See, I know you could. Listen, I'm a Niner guy. That was like the best NFL game I've seen in a long, long time. Yeah. Russell Wilson, take my MVP award. Just take it. You can have it.
That was wild. But wacky on Monday night.
It was. But the Rams needed Seattle to kind of come back down to earth a little bit, to the middle of the pack, and they didn't.
Right.
And now we're seeing that separation, and the Rams might be on the outside looking in. I think what gets me about the Astros thing is it was so sophisticated.
Right. This is Spygate level territory.
They had a camera set up, and then they were banging on a bucket, like almost like Morse code to the rest of the team.
The Patriots are blushing.
Oh yeah, the Patriots are
so high tech. Oh yeah.
No,
they can't believe it.
Patriots they're taking notes. They're like, oh man, well look at that. Okay, banging on a bucket.
I knew I liked them.
But yeah, the Houston Astros, it's coming out that actually it was a former pitcher, right, who came out and kind of ratted out Houston about what they were doing. Inland Sports. Welcome back to the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. It's the Inland Sports Show.
And welcome back to the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. It's the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified at Teen Vision TV 16 in their luxurious television studios as we get ready to go into the holiday season. We're still talking high school football. We love it when our local teams are still playing this late into the season. Hey, our senior writer for the Inland Sports website, he tells me, Daryl Trujillo tells me that he thinks, I don't know if this is confirmed, but he thinks Linfield Christian would play Hemet if that happens at Murrieta Mesa. That Linfield Christian played their CIF championship game at Murrieta Mesa last season. So if history repeated itself, Linfield could be playing at Murrieta Mesa again. So we will hear from Lions head coach DeChon Burns in just a little bit later on this show. But Daryl also wants to congratulate and wish best of luck to Vista Murrieta and Ontario Christian Volleyball. Both those squads will be playing for CIF state championships. So congratulations to the Knights and the Broncos going all the way to the state finals. All right, back to football. And we're going to Division 6. I told you I fell in love with Division 6 before the playoff season even started. We had Citrus Valley, we had Kaiser, and we had San Jacinto. Now, as we go to the semis, we're down to San Jacinto. But I still love the Tigers. San Jacinto will take on Lucerna in the semifinals in Division 6 as San Jacinto is trying to get back to a championship game just like they did last year. But I believe that was Division 7, now in Division 6. So let's hear from Tigers head coach Aric Galliano as they come off a big win in the quarters, and now they set their sights on Lucerna in the D6 semifinals.
Inland Sports. Thoughts about having to go on the road there for a semi to hopefully bring back a championship matchup?
It's awesome. It's very similar to what we did last year. You know, we were one at home and then 2 on the road. I think it gets us away from all the distractions at home. Being here and us getting on the bus and the camaraderie for us being on the road I think is huge. They do a really good job of playing on the road, preparing on the road. So I don't mind it. I love the energy that's going to bring with the kids. You know, we talked about it. You know, after this matchup, we're going 2 and 3. We got to go through the number 2 seed, number 3 seed if we want a chance to make it to the championship. You know, now we got a chance to take out the number 3 seed. You know, we go into every game. You know, if we can score at least 21 points a game, you know, that should get us enough to play. We have a really good defense. You know, throughout the year we've been hit and miss. You know, some games, but we're coming on us late, starting to fly around. We're playing fast, aggressive. It's for one game at a time with us. That's how we've taken it all year long. You know, we just take it one step at a time. I try to get the kids not to jump too far ahead. Coaches not to jump too far ahead.
Inland Sports.
So that's Coach Galliano breaking it down for the San Jacinto Tigers, one of our local teams in the semifinals. We've also got the Ramona Rams. Ram High, they are charging along in Division 13. Big win against Cantwell Sacred Heart this past week on Riverside TV. Rams back on Riverside TV. Jeff Gorham will have the call as they will take on Alhambra in the semifinals. Coach Ken Mushinskie getting the Rams to the semifinals and playing their best football of the season, and now they've got a chance, one more win, and they will go to the championship game. So here's Rams head coach Ken Mushinskie.
Inland Sports.
Talk about the effort of Dante Roby playing with a broken hand and the production he's had.
You know what? All year, Dante's just been a workhorse for us. You know, playing both ways, offense and defense. He has been just a special player and a true warrior.
Coach, the buy-in from this program, you talked about it a little bit with Jeff earlier this week, but you see the alumni come out and the support you guys have and how these kids have committed to what you're trying to do. Talk about that.
Absolutely. You know what? Ramona is just a great place to coach. It's a great community. We started here three years ago talking about being a brotherhood and buying into the program, and it is obvious that these kids have bought in, and you know what? They get a third-round game, and that's very special.
Coach, you said at the beginning of the season that you're kind of trying to turn the corner with that first CIF win, then you got it.
Right.
Does all this feel like icing on the cake, or are you guys chasing something bigger?
We are definitely chasing something bigger. We've talked about it since day one, and it's right there in front of us. We get a home game versus a very good Alhambra team. It's just another roadblock that we just need to keep working hard and get through.
Coach, preview that game next week for us.
You know what? They have a very, very good sophomore quarterback. They're the #1 team. I believe they're undefeated, but we have home field advantage. It's going to be a battle, no doubt. We are definitely going to be ready for them.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you.
Inland Sports.
All right, well, Ken Mushinskie just mentioned it as we go into our Mike's Fitness Equipment Athlete of the Week. This guy, he had an unbelievable game, and he did it all with a broken hand. Let's roll out the highlights because we've got to talk about Ramona running back Dante Roby Jr., everybody. Dante Roby with a broken hand. Look, he even didn't have a shoe on that touchdown run, but if you look closely enough, he's got that big club on his left hand, the broken hand. It's all wrapped up. Didn't matter. Dante Roby, here's his stat line. 192 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns in that win against Kentwell Sacred Heart, 44-14. He was a big reason why the Rams are moving on as they will take on Alhambra in the Division 13 semifinals. Congratulations, Dante Roby. Live it up. You are the Mike's Fitness Equipment Athlete of the Week. Who else would we pick? We had to pick Dante Roby. The guy had a broken hand, and he went on for 4 touchdowns and almost 200 yards on the ground. Congratulations, Dante. That was unbelievable, and hopefully he can do it again this Friday night. And that game will be on Riverside TV. Ramona taking on Alhambra. Our own Jeff Gorham will be on the call, so make sure you check that game out. Let's talk a little college football as well, because it's a very, very big weekend on the college gridiron for our three of our local teams. Mount San Jacinto is also in a playoff game, but we're going to spend some time with San Bernardino Valley College, RCC, and the University of Redlands. So junior college, Mount San Jacinto is in a playoff game. San Bernardino Valley College is playing for the American Conference Championship. This is it. This is the end of the line. This is the championship. They will take on undefeated 10-0 Chaffey College. That game is Saturday night at #Death Valley, San Bernardino Valley College, and it will also be live on IEMG. So I'll be on the call. You can check it out Saturday night, 6 o'clock, as San Bernardino Valley College goes for the championship. The Wolverines' only loss all season long was to RCC. Now RCC, the #1 team in the nation, they beat up Saddleback. I don't know how else to put it. They beat up Saddleback in the final week of the regular season. So now RCC goes into the National Conference playoffs. It's the 4-team playoff in Southern California. If you get through that, then you play for the state championship. RCC will play this weekend at home as well against Mount Sac in one of those National Conference semifinals in Southern California. So RCC against Mount Sac. That one's also live on Riverside TV as the 10-0 Tigers try to take another step, right, towards a junior college state championship. And finally, University of Redlands, also in the Division III, NCAA Division III playoffs. We've got some highlights of the last time the U of R played in the playoffs, because you can take that, rewind it back. In 2016, the last time the Bulldogs made the playoffs, they played on the road at #1, Mary Hardin Baylor in Texas. Well, U of R back in the playoffs this year, and guess where Redlands is going? To #1, Mary Hardin Baylor in Texas. This game you can listen live on 1490 AM KMET. Mitch McClellan will have the call as the University of Redlands will try to pull off a major upset on the road in the state of Texas against Mary Hardin Baylor. I hope the Bulldogs can do it. I believe they can do it. They're really good. I think this is a bad matchup for Mary Hardin Baylor. I believe in the Bulldogs that much, but the U of R is going on the road to Texas. And again, you can listen to that game live on 1490 AM. But we're all pulling for the Bulldogs back here in the Inland Empire. And speaking of listening to them on 1490 AM KMET, let's take a look at our Boost broadcast schedule, because we've got playoff football. Here's your football playoff broadcast schedule, brought to you by Boost Performance Training. Of course, every Wednesday night starts with a big show, Inland Sports Show. Friday night, more high school football playoffs, semifinal edition. Orange Vista taking on Adelanto, a rematch of a championship game from a year ago. That's live on Teen Vision TV 16. You can find them on Vimeo and then on Riverside TV on the City of Riverside Facebook and City of Riverside YouTube. You can check out Ramona hosting Alhambra. Then Saturday college foosball action, U of R at Mary Hardin Baylor. That's 10 o'clock a.m. local time. time. So when you roll out of bed at 9:50, turn on the radio, listen to the game. Bulldogs at Mary Hart Baylor, #1 in the nation. And then Saturday, 6 o'clock, more local college football. We've got SBVC and Chafee for the American Conference Championship on IEMG. And then Riverside City at home against Mount Sac in the National Southern California semifinals. And if RCC wins that, you play for the SoCal title. You win that, you go to the state championship game. When we come back, we'll have Linfield Christian head coach DeChon Burns as we talk Lions football in Division 11. We'll be back on the Inland Sports Show.
This is Centennial High School football coach Matt Logan. You're watching the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? Coach Bass here. We're here at the new Boost Performance Center here at 500 Harrington Street in Corona, California. We got a bigger space, more room for strength training, speed training, everything our athletes need. We got our student athletes here getting their studying done. So some of the different things we're going to be offering here at the new Boost Performance Center is really focusing on recovery, whether that be physical therapy or active recovery with yoga. We're also going to be offering nutrition classes for the general public. So really taking a more well-rounded approach to fitness for athletes, of course. Come check us out at our new facility. We're going to be opening soon. Can't wait to have you guys here. Just opened up our new location off the 91 in Arlington and Riverside. Come check us out and get spoiled for a change.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona. Mike's Fitness Equipment. Check out the new storeroom on La Cadena. Quality fitness equipment at affordable prices. Mike's Fitness Equipment. And JoJo's Grill-A-Dog, located in the Mountain Grove Shopping Center in Redlands. Let's be frank, not all dogs are created equal. JoJo's Grill-A-Dog. Welcome back to the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. It's the Inland Sports Show.
And welcome back to the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. This is the Inland Sports Show. My name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. Although next week, make sure you keep it to Inland Sports on Twitter and our social media accounts, because we may bump up the show next week, so everyone here on the Inland Sports team here and behind the scenes, we can all enjoy a long week of Thanksgiving with our family and friends. But right now, join us live from Linfield Christian, the head coach of the Lions. It's DeChon Burns. And Coach, you're not part of the iPhone team yet?
No, sir. I'm team Android, Samsung, Neanderthal.
That's okay, Coach. We won't hold it against you. We're just going to talk football. We won't talk smartphones on this show. But, hey, congratulations on making it to the semifinals. You're one win away from getting back to a championship game. What have you liked about the Lions here in the postseason run here?
Our guys are showing a bunch of resiliency. They're showing a bunch of maturation and finding ways to get things done. They're growing, and each and every week we're getting a little bit better football than we did the week before. And it's allowing us to continue to keep the lights on, like we like to say over here, and play the brand of football that we're capable of playing.
We're talking with DeChon Burns, head football coach for Linfield Christian. And Coach, I know as a coach, the only thing you're worried about is Muir High School, Friday night, and that's it. But here on the media side, we always like to look ahead, and you guys would be home. You'd be the home team in Division 11, any way you slice it, for that championship game. But first things first, this Friday against Muir. And without giving away all your secrets and your game plan, what do you know about Muir? What do we know about these guys in this matchup?
You know, Muir is a talented team. They're loaded with athletes every single year. That's what they do. Going back to days I was in school and playing with guys from Muir and the Ricky Irvins, the Alec Mahones, and the Crutchfields. So they are loaded. They're athletic. They're coached well. They're going to come out and play. All cylinders wide open, use their athletic ability, and stick to their game plan.
Well, Coach, we're really blowing it out big on Division 11 this show because we had Dennis Gregovich on earlier because, you know, we wanted to get, you know, the two local teams in D11 with you as well. But they had a crazy game against El Rancho in the quarterfinals. You had a crazy game, too, in the quarterfinals. Tell us about how you guys were able to gut out that win.
You know, just once again, it was just the guys just being mature and doing the things that they're capable of doing and putting together drives, sustaining, and just playing a brand of ball that we're capable of playing, just putting it all together and just focusing on the next play, and didn't get down. We got hit with a couple of things that, you know, caused us to have to, you know, drop the lead. And then they didn't falter. They didn't waver. They just put their nose to the grindstone and got after it. And so they were able to march the field some 90-some-odd yards with 5 minutes on the clock, 5 and some change, and ran off about 4 minutes and 44 seconds, to be exact, to go in and get the score and just execute and do what they're supposed to do. And then Pasadena made some gutsy plays down the way, and it came down to our guys just doing what we're supposed to do and sealing the deal with the sack, caused fumble, and getting off the field. So it was an epic game on both sides. It was done well. Guys played hard.
Yeah, Coach, you've seen a lot of football. You've coached a lot of football. I mean, does that rank up there in terms of just dramatic, emotional wins for you to come off a win like that against Pasadena?
Oh, definitely. Definitely had the feel of a championship, had a championship feel. You know, it had a feel of two teams going at it and just knuckling up and throwing and everybody's best shot being given. Years ago, we played Rim of the World and we had a double overtime game. So it kind of had that feel. It had the feel of an OC, like last minute, you know, blocking a field goal. Just it's one play makes or breaks it. And it does rank up there, to be honest with you. It was a good win.
Well, Coach, it's always good talking to you. It finally looks like football weather, man. I see steam and everything coming out. It feels like football out there because there's not a lot of teams practicing this late in the season. We're finally getting into the cold temperatures. But, hey, Coach, it's always great talking to you. Best of luck on Friday. As a local football fan, I want to see Hemet at Linfield Christian in the finals next week. But as the coach, I know all you got to worry about is Muir. That's all you're thinking about right now.
Yeah, I was just thinking about one game at a time, going 1-0 each week, and keeping the lights on Pablo, man. So I Pep, once again, thank you for what you do. It is great football weather. It feels like football, and we're blessed to have our lights on. You know,
Yes, sir. Coach, it's always great seeing you. Best of luck on Friday, and hopefully we're still talking Lion football come next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for everything, Pep. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DeChon. That's DeChon Burns, head football coach at Linfield Christian. And maybe we'll do it again next week as the Lions will hopefully be marching on in Division 11 as well. So again, two local teams still alive in Division 11 and 12. We got some great matchups. But for this week in the semifinals, as we go to our Kins Sporting Goods must-see game of the week, I've been waiting for this game for 12 months. We finally got it. When the football playoffs wrapped up last year, we all knew Centennial. Listen, we all knew it. This is no surprise. I'm not reinventing the wheel on this. We all knew Centennial would play either Mater Dei or Bosco in the semifinals. And if they won this game, and I hope they do, then they would see Mater Dei or Bosco in the finals. So now we get it. It's semifinal time, and guess what? The Braves are coming out to Centennial for the first time. Oh, I can't wait. Centennial against St. John Bosco. Bosco, it's our Ken's Sporting Goods must-see game of the week, and we will have coverage from that game. So check back with the Inland Sports Show all over social media and our YouTube channel. We will have highlights from Bosco and Centennial this Friday night. It's going to be epic. It's fantastic, and we've been waiting a long, long time to see this matchup come to fruition. So we're fired up about it. All right, and finally, let's go to our final high school football rankings of the season because, listen, there's not a lot of teams left. All right, so here we go. Centennial's number 1, followed by the Rancho Verde, which I'm going to get to in just a second. Cajon is at 3, Norco 4, San Jacinto, Temecula Valley, Kaiser, and Aquinas. That's our grade 8. Our 4 more, Citrus Valley, Vista Murrieta, Heritage, Murrieta Valley, and who's next? Oh, man, we threw our Division 11 teams in there because we love them so much. Hemet and Linfield Christian, that's who's next. So there's your grade 8, and really of those teams, who's playing? Well, Hemet's playing, Linfield Christian's playing, Centennial's playing. There's just not a lot of football teams out there. And a lot of our football teams are in the higher divisions, too. When you look at it, we've got Centennial at 1, and then the next one's Aquinas in 5, and then it goes up from there. So we've got 10 semifinal games that we will be keeping an eye on. Last year we had 12, so it was down a little bit, but still we could have a bunch of teams from our area in the CIF Southern Section championship games. And speaking of Rancho Verde High School, I had to bring it up. Everyone's talking about it. It's blowing up on Twitter. So if you haven't heard, so here's the deal. Rancho Verde played on the road at San Clemente in the quarterfinals. They lost that game 13-9. Then we come fast forward to this week, and the CIF Southern Section announces that San Clemente had an ineligible player, and they have to forfeit the game. So San Clemente is out of the playoffs. They will not play their semifinal game. The team that they were playing in the semifinals, Chaminade, gets a free pass, a free trip to the Division II section championship game. They'll have an extra week of practice, I guess. There's been an outcry for the Rancho Verde to get a shot in the semifinals against Chaminade, but here we are as of Wednesday night at 6:49, and we've got no news. So if you're a Rancho Verde fan, I want it to happen, but I think we're up against the clock. I don't think the CIF's going to make a ruling that Rancho Verde can play in a semifinal game. And if you're the Mustangs, you know, how do you turn things around in a day or two and get ready for a game? So I think it's over. I think San Clemente has to be thrown out of the playoffs. Rancho Verde's season's done because they lost in the quarters. And if you're Chaminade, you're hanging out for a week. You got an extra week of practice as you get ready to play in a championship game. So kind of a bizarre situation that we really don't see a lot of. In fact, I can't remember the last time, and I've covered high school football from the top of California to the bottom of California. I can't remember a situation like this happening this far into the playoffs. Usually teams or coaches or schools will get wind of something like this, like an ineligible player, and they'll nip it in the bud before it gets this too far. But it happened, and I feel bad for Rancho Verde. Because if Rancho Verde would have beat San Clemente in the quarters, wouldn't it be having this conversation? But San Clemente won, and now they have to get kicked out of the playoffs, and that's the ruling from the CIF Southern Section, and now that's that. And I feel bad for Rancho Verde. So tough loss for Rancho Verde to see their season in, and to compound that, now to see San Clemente get booted from the playoffs. That's a tough break for the Mustangs. All right, when we come back, we're going to wrap things up. We're going to talk a little basketball on the college hardwood, and also a very special baseball tournament returns this weekend. We'll have that when we come back on the Inland Sports Show.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Maynard, the head football coach at the University of Redlands, and you're watching the Inland Sports Show.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona. Mike's Fitness Equipment. Check out the new storeroom on La Cadena. Quality fitness equipment at affordable prices. Mike's Fitness Equipment. And JoJo's Gorilla Dog, located in the Mountain Grove Shopping Center in Redlands. Let's be frank, not all dogs are created equal. JoJo's Gorilla Dog.
would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taken care of, whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. Customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
Here at the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes, we provide a collegiate experience for our students. They study here, they train here, balancing that student-athlete life. And it's a great experience. I recommend for anyone who's serious about their student and athlete life. So because we're a small private school, we're really able to bring a lot of technology to our students. So we're able to provide a lot of what you wouldn't find at your typical public school. We really feel like we're on the cutting edge of education and on sports development as well. So whether it be recovery or just their strength and speed development, you can find it here at the new Boost Performance Center. We're providing everything our athletes need to be the best student athletes they can be. Riverside, just opened up our new location off the 91 in Arlington and Riverside. Come check us out and get spoiled for a change.
Welcome back to the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. It's the Inland Sports Show.
Well, we are almost done here on the Inland Sports Show at the Mike's Fitness Equipment Studio. We're talking a little basketball here as we wrap things up, and a very special baseball tournament coming up on the local basketball scene, because once we get fully out of football, once we get through Thanksgiving and as we get closer to Christmas, we will hit basketball season hard. We cover California Baptist, UC Riverside, local high school. We cover very big time, very hard on this show. UCR, they're going to play the University of Redlands. How about that? UCR and Redlands tomorrow. That's a 4 o'clock tip-off, an early tip-off. Jeff Gorham will be on the call. I might be on the call as well if I can get off work early. And then the Highlanders are back in action on Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock against Denver. That's the UCR slate. For CBU, they've got the 2K Empire Classic benefiting the Wounded Warrior Project. CBU will take on Central Arkansas Friday at 7 o'clock. And then on Saturday, they'll play either Georgia State or Prairie View A&M. So a big weekend slate of basketball for CBU and UCR. And the CBU women in action. They're going to take on Northern Arizona tomorrow at 11 a.m. Our own Cullen Holt will be on the call. And then Saturday, CBU will take on UC Santa Barbara. And you're stuck with this guy. I'll be on the call at 1 p.m. At the CBU Events Center. And finally, we want to let everyone know that the Austin Garrell Baseball Classic is back, honoring the life of Austin Garrell. The Home Run Derby on Friday night kind of kicks everything off, and there'll be games throughout the weekend. The championship game will be at California Baptist University at Topman Stadium. First pitch at 6 o'clock, but I would suggest getting there early because at 5 o'clock is the big ceremony, and they pass out a lot of money in scholarships. In fact, I think I saw it was over $70,000 since they started this tournament that they've been able to pass down to local high school baseball players in scholarship money. So it's some of the top high school baseball programs in the entire Inland Empire, and the cool thing is they're all coming together to celebrate the life of Austin Garrell, former high school baseball player at JW North. So I hope you guys can check that out, and you can check them out all over Twitter, and there's also a website as well, austingarrellclassic.com. So make sure you check that out and support it as well. My name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in. Again, make sure you subscribe to the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Over 1 million views now, and I think we just passed over 2,000 subscribers. So slowly but surely, we're doing some big things here, and we're very proud of it. And then we probably will move up the show come next week because we want to celebrate Thanksgiving and be with our family and friends and kind of enjoy a long time off. So stay tuned for updates on the airing of the Inland Sports Show come next week. Hey, it was a big show because of all the local football teams still in the hunt for CIF Southern Section Championships, and I really hope the show is jam-packed again next week with all our local teams coming up big on Friday night in the semifinals. My name is Pep Fernandez. For everyone here at Teen Vision TV 16, Anthony is back, everybody. Johnny Nunez, Elijah, everyone's here. It was a big show. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.